Good morning, traders. I'm Emily Vani, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Monday, June 2nd. We kick off a new month of trading after markets ended mixed on Friday, but near flatline. After an afternoon pullback, the Dow was able to claw back and post a gain of 54 points or 0.13%. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ made up ground after afternoon lows, but still ended in the red, but basically flat. The S&P 500 lost less than half a point. The NASDAQ gave up 62 points or 0.32%. Bill, let's get into a new week with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Hi, yes. Good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps. We're lower by 0.3%, down 0.32, which isn't that bad. I mean, we're down 0.5% earlier, so it is starting to see some buying push the index a little higher. But we're still down, 0.3%. Okay. And it's really due to the trade tensions between the U.S. and China. I mean, both sides are accusing each other of violating the 90-day truce. And that's causing some, cautiousness in the markets. President Trump came out on Friday and said that he's raising the tariffs on steel and aluminum from 25% to 50%. In the back of my mind, I got to think that this has something to do with that reporter's question on the taco trade, which infuriated him last week, and he wants to show that he's tough on tariffs. But, I'll never know. The EU and the U.S., they're scheduled to hold trade talks this week. Now, there's a meeting in Paris scheduled for Wednesday. Apparently, there are EU officials in the U.S. today, and they're doing some prep work. So, yeah, that could be something. Fed chairman, he's going to be making some opening remarks today. That could be something. Yesterday, we heard from Fed Bank Governor Christopher Waller, who indicated that the Fed will likely be able to lower interest rates later this year. That's a positive. Oil prices are spiking, really due to geopolitical concerns. First off, you had OPEC. OPEC came out and they decided to hike their output. Now, that would be negative for oil prices, but Ukraine and Russia, these drone strikes that are going, that's causing oil prices to spike. And then there's Iran. The U.S. gave Iran their proposal over the weekend, the peace proposal, which Iran essentially rejected because it doesn't give them the right to enrich uranium, which is a non-starter for them. So that's, causing more conflict, on oil prices that make them spike higher. On the economic front today, hey, you got to watch out for that ISM Manufacturing PMI. That's coming out at 10 a.m. this morning. And then earnings. So, SAIC, Scientific Applications, they release stocks trading lower. But this week you have Signet Jewelers, you have Dollar General, you got Hewlett Packard, you got CrowdStrike, Dollar Tree, PVH, Five Below, Sienna, DocuSign, Lululemon, and the big one, AVGO or Broadcom, AVGO, Broadcom. They're all releasing this week. So yeah, we got some good earnings to take a look at. Now we're taking a look at what's going on in the overseas markets. We're going to start off in Germany with the DAX, and listen, the DAX is trading lower. I got to tell you, I'm looking at it. It's down 77 points or 0.32%, which, it was down over 100 points. So now it's only down 6 points. So, that's positive. The German PMI was revised downward to 48.3 in May. The preliminary estimate was 48.8. Remember, April was 48.4. So that's actually lower than April's number. That's not positive. And then you have the FTSE. The FTSE's trading higher, up 11 points or 0.13%. You're seeing outperformance in defense stocks and oil stocks. That's helping keep that index from turning red. In France is trading lower by 0.47%. Okay, you're seeing some weakness there, but you got to remember there's an ECB meeting up this week on Thursday. They're going to be cutting rates, it looks like. What else? We're turning over our attention over to Asia. Asia was light volume. We saw a lot, volumes were not strong overnight. The Nikkei fell 1.30%. Losses broad-based across all sectors. Notable declines in tech and auto stocks. Hong Kong fell 0.57%. Due to the trade tensions. But China was closed. They had a holiday, so that's why you had light volumes across the region. And oil prices, we're taking a look at WTI right now, and WTI is trading up 4.29% to $63.40 a barrel. Brent is at $65.17 a barrel. As I said, Iran rejecting the U.S.'s peace accord, that's an issue. The drone strikes between Russia and Ukraine, that's going to create volatility, and that's that's taken over because let's face it, we kind of knew what the oil upticks were going to be from OPEC, and they came in with that number of 411,000 barrels per day as expected. So you got to take a look at the other geopolitical issues that are causing the oil prices to spike this morning, and that's what I have for you in terms of morning market update report, Emily.
Bill, it seems like those geopolitical issues are sort of reverberating throughout markets today, oil, and as you mentioned, the stock market. Looking at those evolving trade tensions and other issues. But throughout the week, we're not only going to be following that, but all the other things that you mentioned, including that economic data and earnings reports, and of course, the other corporate headlines. We will start on this Monday with earnings action. You did point to a few that are worth noting. So, Bill, what is going on in terms of earnings action today?
Starting off with Campbell's companies, or Campbell Soups, CPB, Charlie, Paul, boy, they beat by 7 cents. They did it on higher revenue. You look at the stock this morning, and it's trading higher by 0.76%. Nice. Scientific Applications, SAIC, Sam, Apple, India, Charlie. They missed by 20 cents, although it was done on higher revenue, but that stock's down 4.36% this morning in the pre-market. Upcoming tomorrow morning, you got Signet Jewelers, ticker SIG, Sam, India, Grace. Their EPS is $1.02. Expected move is 13.59%. Then you get Ollie's Bargain Basement, OLLI, Oscar, Larry, India. Their EPS is 70 cents. Expected move is 11.35%. Then you get Dollar General, ticker DG, David Grace. Their EPS is $1.47. Expected move is 9.15% when they release tomorrow morning, Emily.
Bill, you're keeping track of all of those using your earnings alert on your NewsWare, and you're also keeping track of economic reports. There are a number to gather today and throughout the week, along with some Fed speak. So, Bill, give us a rundown of what is going on in terms of the day's economic events.
PMIs are in focus this week. I mean, at 9:45, you get the manufacturing PMI. At 10 a.m., you get construction spending, but also at 10 a.m., you get the ISM Manufacturing PMIs data coming out. In terms of Fed speak, at 10:15, you're going to hear from Dallas Fed Bank President Lori Logan. 12:45, we're going to be hearing from Chicago Fed Bank President Austin Goolsbee. And then at 1 p.m., Jerome Powell, he's scheduled to make some opening remarks. I don't think this is going to be anything because they're opening remarks, but you never really know. The highlight of the economic data for the week will really be that it could be the ECB meeting. They're going to cut rates by 25 basis points, it looks like. But that non-farms payroll report comes out on Friday, so that's going to be the key one that economic indicator, economic data point for the week, Emily.
You'll be watching those economic indicators throughout the week, again, using your NewsWare with your economic alert set up, along with an alert set up for Fed officials so you can gather all of that commentary. You're also looking at alerts that you've set up for things like merger news, guidance news, shareholders meetings, buyback news, catalyst calls. You're looking at your stocks grouped together like your FANG stocks and your Dow 30 stocks. So, Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets on this Monday?
Doing a quick data check. I'm looking at my Dow stocks. I got 23 lower. I got 5 higher and 2 unchanged. My FANG stocks, they're all trading lower. They're weakness across the board there. In terms of news hitting the tape, like Apple, I mean, Apple's down 0.5%. But they got that a worldwide developers conference. It starts next week. You got to keep that in the back of your mind. Google taking a hit, down 2%. It's all about that antitrust case. But the judge isn't expected to make a ruling until August. So you got for it to be down 2% ahead of a decision that comes out in 2 months indicates that the closing arguments were really close to allowing the judge to consider breaking them up. In terms of Meta, Meta's down about 0.3%. Nothing significant, but they're aiming to fully automate ad creation by using AI this year. So that's interesting. And Tesla's down 1.36%. I mean, hey, they reported lower May sales in Portugal, Denmark, and Sweden. 3 countries, lower EV sales. Not good. We're talking Dow Jones 30 stocks, and we're talking Chevron, ticker CVX. Hey, stocks trading higher as oil's up 3-4% this morning. It's nice to see. Boeing, ticker BA, it's up over 1.3% this morning because they're in talks with Air India about a new order, and it looks like Bank of America just upgraded the stock from neutral to buy. That's also a positive when the big brokers start upgrading your stock. United Healthcare, ticker UNH, it's up over 1% this morning. They're having a shareholders meeting today. Starts at 11 a.m. They got a lot to talk about. That'll be an interesting one. And you can see more gains based on this shareholder meeting. You got to pay attention to the shareholder meeting. This is going to be a big one. In terms of merger news, Sanofi, ticker SNY, Sam, Nancy, Yellow, they're going to be acquiring Blueprint Medicines, BPMC, Boy, Paul, Mary, Charlie. Buying them for $129 per share in a $9.1 billion deal. Bristol Myers, they entered into an agreement with BNTX, Boy Nancy Tom X-ray, for its cancer treatment. Bristol Myers is paying BNTX up to $11.1 billion. It looks like. In terms of guidance news, CPB, Campbell's reaffirms full year 2025 adjusted EPS view, 2.95 cents to 3.05 cents. Street estimates 2.98 cents. It's still an uptick. Still an uptick. Other shareholders meetings going on. Virtue Financial, VIRT, they're having a shareholders meeting today at 9 a.m. And Warner Brothers, WBD, they're having a shareholders meeting today at 10 a.m. Something to keep an eye on. And that's what I have for you in terms of news hitting the tape this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. It is now that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, we're kicking off a new month. What is your pick of the day today?
Signet Jewelers, ticker SIG, Sam India Grace. Earnings are out tomorrow morning. EPS is $1.02. Expected move is 13.59%. Friday's call volume totaled 1,370 calls against 923 puts. Positive. Open interest 16,000 versus 10,685. Again, positive. Major brokers are raising price targets on the stock. And you got to remember that recent rally in gold prices, that could be benefiting and helping their returns this quarter. So I do like Signet Jewelers, ticker SIG, Sam India Grace today. Want to get in $66, that low 66, maybe under if possible. I see its bid at 65.90, so it is possible to get in under 66. But that's a little morning weakness is really what I'm looking for, and I think it's going to have a better day this afternoon. So that's my pick of the day. Signet Jewelers, ticker SIG, Sam India Grace, Emily.
Signet Jewelers. It is on an earnings play. And coming up, we will do a recap on Friday's pick of the day that was kind of a post-earnings play, and we'll see how that one worked out on Friday. But ahead of that, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, sending it back to you.
Applied Digital, APLD. They announced an AI data center lease with CoreWeave. That's positive. Campbell Snack business remains under pressure. Yeah, RFK Jr. General Mills received clearance from the U.S. for yogurt transaction. Novartis, NVS, their cancer treatment showed positive results in the trial. Some senior executives at Tesla were alarmed last year when Elon Musk denied a report that the company had killed a planned all-new 25,000 EV project. Google's already out there saying it's going to appeal the online search decision. Germany's federal cartel office expressed concerns about Amazon's use of so-called price control mechanisms. Tata Group's Air India is in talks with Airbus and Boeing for a major new aircraft order, including some 200 extra single-aisle planes, topping the big deal that they did in 2023. You got that trade deal coming up with India. I wouldn't be surprised if Boeing gets the majority of this order. Hims and Hers, Hims, ticker HIMS, they said that they're going to be cutting about 4% of its workforce. Moderna, mRNA, the FDA approved their next-gen COVID-19 vaccine for everyone age 65 and above. That's all I'm seeing this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we dive into trading on this Monday, start a new month, let's do a quick check-in on Friday's pick of the day, which was Dell. Now, you did make this pick following their missed earnings, but there was a good outlook there. You thought there was an opportunity for the stock to see some momentum coming back from sort of the pullback. When it comes to Dell, I did see at least one headline this morning that tech companies are in focus in that new federal spending review, and Dell was specifically named. You were looking at this one on Friday, Bill. How did your call work out?
Well, I was looking at it on Thursday. I was trading it Thursday after the bell on the earnings, and that really worked out for me because I remember I got in at like 121 and I sold out at 125. I mean, it was a great trade. But on Friday, I liked the stock because it was trading so weak. It was really giving up a lot of those gains, and I felt it had some ability to have a little bit of a rally, especially in the morning. And sure enough, the stock opened up at $112.48, and then it quickly ran to $116.97. There's your 1% more. It closed at 111.27. It's trading 110.21. But you put was that 1% there? Yeah, absolutely. Did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It ran hot right out of the gate, and I was able to grab the 1% more and call it a day. So Dell Technologies, ticker DELL, was a winner, Emily.
That payday on Friday means yet another win. And for May, you had 21 picks, 17 wins, 3 flat trades, but only 1 real loss. So if you toss out those flat trades, we're looking at a month with a 94% win rate. And I must remind my listeners, as they know, it's been a volatile month, if not couple months. So that 94% certainly feels better than even other times. So we will check in with you tomorrow about today's Signet Jewelers pick of the day, see how June starts off. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow and each weekday morning this week at NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Vani, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.